I'm going to show you the installation of the ProStop digital fence and stop system. I'm setting up the ProStop here at my miter saw station. Now everybody's saw is going to be different, but the one thing that we have in common, we need to figure out how to secure the ProStop fence. So I made this platform the same height as the bed of my saw. It's 12 inches wide and 8 feet long. This is going to give me a secure top to mount the ProStop fence to. Now the components of the ProStop consist of the slide stop assembly. We have our flip stop, micro adjust knob, and 2 locking knobs. Digital readout. Digital readout is mounted to the sliding stop assembly using 1/4 20 shoulder bolts. So we need a 3/16 T-handle or Allen wrench. Have a guide clip that is secured to the sliding stop assembly using Phillips head machine screws. So we need a Phillips screwdriver. Have our encoder, an end cap that goes at the end of the fence, 2 quick sets, and I'll talk about these later after I get the fence installed, and an Allen wrench to set the quick sets. And instructions that are very easy to read, but nobody reads instructions. And of course our fence, which is available in 8 different sizes, from 50 inches up to 286 inches. Now to set the fence, we need a nice long straight edge. The fence is held in place using M10 by 50 bolts. So we need to drill a 7/16 hole. Since these bolts are metric, we need a 17mm wrench. If you don't have a 17mm wrench, you could use your adjustable crescent wrench. Just make sure to flip it over and use the metric side.
The metric side? Metric side? What?
Now because of space restrictions, I can't set up a camera behind where the fence is going to go to show you good angles of how all the components come together. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how to set the fence. Then I'm going to have the fence here on my bench where I will put all the components together to show you how easy the system comes together. Now installing the ProStop fence is wicked easy. First, I'm going to take the fence and put it on my platform. Then I'm going to take a nice long straight edge and make sure that the straight edge is up against the fence of my saw. Okay, then I'm going to introduce the front of the fence of the ProStop up against the straight edge. Now once I'm happy with that position, I'm going to take a pencil. I'm going to go along the front of the fence. Slide that out of the way. So that pencil mark represents the front edge of the ProStop fence. So we want to go back from our pencil mark 7/8 of an inch or 22 millimeters. And that's where we will drill a 7/16 hole for our 10mm bolt. Now I've been using this system for a few months now, so I already have my holes drilled. Now they give you 3 bolts with the system. I have a hole here in the front, a hole in the middle, and a hole here towards the end of the fence. Now we have two ways that we can install the fence. One, if you have the space, you can go ahead, drop the bolt into your hole, and then take the washer and the nut and install it from the bottom to get the washer and nut started. And then you could slide the fence over and engage the bolt with the bottom slot of the fence. I don't have the space to be able to do that. So the other option we have is to simply put the bolts in, get that bolt close to where your hole is on your top, and then just flip it up and then you're in place. Now all you have to do is reach under and put the washer and the nut onto the bolt. So we got the nuts and the washer onto the bolts. I'm going to make sure that the fence is in line with my pencil mark, and using my metric crescent wrench.
Metric side? What is he talking about?
Or a 17mm wrench. I just need to tighten the bolts down. Before I add any components to the ProStop fence, I want to identify the back and the top of the fence. The back of the fence is actually facing the camera. It has a black strip, which is the electronic scale. The electronic scale is adhered to a separate piece of aluminum, and they made that separate piece of aluminum flush with the top surface of the fence. So that's how we identify the back and our top. It's important because the slide stop assembly is going to glide along the top of the fence, and our encoder is going to slide along the back of the fence. First item I'm going to install is the encoder. And when I slide the encoder on, I want to make sure that the cable is facing down the ground. I don't want the cable shooting up towards the sky. Now the encoder has a slot in the back here, and it's going to slide over the electronic scale. Now I could take the slide stop assembly, and if we take a look at the bottom, there are two large rectangle nuts. Those nuts slide into the top slot of the fence. Just going to lock this down. All right. Now the next item I could take is the guide clip. Now the guide clip has a little groove down in the bottom here, and there is a pin on the back of the encoder. I want the groove to go over the pin of the encoder, and I'll take two Phillips head machine screws and secure the guide clip to the back of the slide stop assembly. Okay, so now my little clip, the guide clip, is engaged into the pin, and so when I move everything, the encoder slides along the electronic scale. Now I could take the digital readout. The bracket on the digital readout is already installed for you when you receive it, and you use the 1/4-20 shoulder bolts to attach it to the back. Okay, So now all we have to do is take our cable and plug it into the digital readout. Back of the digital readout, they supply us with a zip tie and a spot to secure the zip tie to get our cable up off the ground, so that when we're sliding the stop along the fence, the cable isn't rubbing along anything in the back. Just a few more items to install before we are done with the assembly. I mentioned earlier in the video that the system comes with 2 quick sets. They simply slide in from the end of the fence. And then we take the end cap and we put the end cap at the end of the fence. The end cap will help prevent the quick sets from falling out of the end, and it helps ensure that the slide stop assembly doesn't come off the fence. Well, that's how easy it is to install the ProStop digital fence and stop system. Now, I have a whole separate video going over the digital display and how to calibrate the system and all the features, but this system is so friggin' awesome, I gotta show you at least one cut. Real quick, I know that I said that I would show you the quick sets. They go into the face of the fence. You can lock them down anywhere that you want. And I have this one set for a 27.5-inch cut. So whenever I go up against that quick set, I know I'm gonna get a 27.5-inch cut. Now, just to show you the accuracy that we're going to get with the system, I'm going to make a cut at 22 inches. Just move the stop down till my display reads 22 inches and make a cut. See how well we did. I mean, come on. It doesn't get any better than this. This is just perfection. It's awesome. It's cheating.
Well, a new video by my man Eric over at the Popular Shop. Let's see what he has to say.
Since these bolts are metric, we need a 17mm wrench. If you don't have a 17mm wrench, you can use your adjustable crescent wrench. Just make sure to flip it over and use the metric side.
What? What in the hell are you talking about? Flip it over and use the metric side. It's an adjustable wrench. It doesn't have an SAE and a metric. What?
17mm wrench, you can use your adjustable crescent wrench. Just make sure to flip it over and use the metric side.
Huh. That's what he's saying. Let me check out my crescent wrench. Yep, there's SAE. Metric on the other side. Wait, there is metric on the other side. Hell, I'll be damned. He's right.
One last thing before I let you go. If you make a platform like this, use this as an opportunity to create storage at the miter saw station. I made drawers to go underneath the platform. The way that I constructed the drawers, I let the sides run long. 2 reasons. One reason, we have bolts holding the fence in place. So when the drawer closes, that bolt doesn't interfere with the back of the drawer. And the other reason why the drawer sides are extra long, they help keep the drawer in place from falling out, so I don't need to use drawer slides. So check it out, guys. ProStop by Accurate Technology. Here is the website, proscale.com. Thank you very much, Accurate Technology, for sending me the ProStop to test and review. And thank you for watching. All this recording and my mic has been off. Son of a bitch.
Metric side? What the f is he talking about? You see a metric side?
I don't see one.
I'm not watching his videos anymore.
Yeah. Inches. Millimeters. Inches. Millimeters. Inches. Millimeters.